In the vast tapestry of human history, ancient civilizations have left their indelible marks through their unique customs and traditions. These unusual practices, steeped in centuries of culture, rituals, and beliefs, offer us a fascinating glimpse into our shared past. They serve as a reminder of our collective journey and provide valuable insights into how our societies have evolved. We'll be delving into the depths of history, exploring the civilizations of ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, ancient India, and ancient Greece. Each of these civilizations, with their distinct cultures, have contributed to the rich diversity of human customs and traditions. From the mummification rituals of the Egyptian pharaohs to the astrological divinations of Mesopotamian seers, from the spiritual practices of Vedic India to the mythological influences of ancient Greece, these societies have given us a wealth of knowledge and a plethora of unusual customs. So buckle up as we take a journey back in time to explore the unusual customs of these fascinating civilizations. Our first stop is ancient Egypt, a civilization renowned for its monumental pyramids and intriguing mummification rituals. This was a culture that held a profound respect for the afterlife, a belief that profoundly influenced their customs and practices. Ancient Egyptians believed that life did not end with death, but rather, it was a transition into a new form of existence. This belief was deeply ingrained in their society, shaping their rituals, their art, and their everyday lives. They developed intricate rituals to ensure the deceased's safe passage into the afterlife, with the most prominent being the practice of mummification. Mummification was not just a method of preserving bodies. It was a deeply spiritual process steeped in religious symbolism. The Egyptians believed that the human being consisted of several elements: the physical body, the ka, life force, the ba, or soul, and the ak, a spiritual form that could only be achieved if the body was preserved and the proper rituals performed. The process of mummification was meticulous and required a high degree of skill. After death, the body was carefully washed and purified. Then, the internal organs were removed and preserved separately. The heart, considered the seat of intelligence and emotion, was left in place as it would be needed in the afterlife. The body was then filled with natron, a kind of natural salt, to dry it out and prevent decay. After 40 days, the body was washed again, and the dried flesh was treated with oils and resins to keep it flexible. The body was then wrapped in linen bandages, often with amulets and charms placed in between the layers for protection. These mummies were not created merely to serve as a resting place for the soul. They were designed as a home for the ka, which needed a physical place to reside. The mummified bodies were placed in tombs filled with everyday objects, food, and even pets, which the Egyptians believed would be used in the afterlife. These tombs were often decorated with scenes from the deceased's life, and spells from the Book of the Dead to guide the soul in the afterlife. But these rituals were not reserved for the pharaohs or the elite. Ancient Egyptians believed that everyone deserved to reach the afterlife, so mummification was practiced across different social classes. While the rich could afford elaborate tombs and mummification methods, the poor also followed similar rituals within their means. As we can see, ancient Egyptians held a profound respect for the afterlife, a belief that profoundly influenced their customs and practices. They developed complex rituals and methods to ensure the deceased's safe passage into the afterlife, reflecting their deep spiritual beliefs and their understanding of life and death. This is just one example of the unusual customs that have shaped our understanding of this fascinating civilization. Next, we find ourselves in the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, where astrology and divination were integral parts of daily life. Journey with me to a time when the Tigris and Euphrates rivers nourished the fertile land, where the Sumerians developed one of the world's first urban civilizations. The Sumerians were known for their unique and somewhat unusual customs, and their wedding rituals were no exception. A Sumerian wedding wasn't just a joyous celebration, it was a legal contract, a social obligation, and a religious ceremony all rolled into one. The couple would stand before a priest and make their vows. The bride's father would then hand over his daughter to her new husband, symbolizing the transfer of responsibility. But it didn't end there. A feast, often lasting several days, would ensue, full of music, dance, and merriment, binding not just two individuals but two families and even two communities together. In Mesopotamian society, marriage wasn't just about the personal happiness of two individuals. It was a strategic alliance, a way to ensure social stability, and a means to produce future generations who would contribute to the society's survival and prosperity. Now let's shift our gaze upwards towards the stars. astrology and divination held a significant place in the hearts and minds of the Mesopotamians. The movement of celestial bodies was thought to be messages from the gods, providing guidance for the decisions they made, both big and small. Astrologers would meticulously record the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, and interpret these patterns to predict everything from the outcome of wars to the best time to plant crops. These astrological charts weren't just tools for divination, they were considered sacred texts, a divine language that allowed a glimpse into the will of the gods. But why did they place such importance on astrology? Well, the Mesopotamians believed that their lives were directly influenced by the gods who resided in the heavens. Understanding the movement of celestial bodies was, therefore, a way to understand the gods themselves. Divination, too, was a common practice. Priests would interpret signs and omens in everyday occurrences or specific rituals, seeking guidance for the kingdom's welfare. A sudden storm, an unexpected animal sighting, even the shape of smoke rising from an altar, could all hold prophetic significance. In the land between two rivers, the cosmos and its mysteries played a central role in shaping the customs of the Mesopotamians. Their gaze, forever turned upwards, sought answers in the stars, and found a sense of purpose and direction in the cosmic dance of celestial bodies. Their unusual customs, from elaborate wedding rituals to intricate astrological charts, reveal a society deeply entwined with the divine, striving to make sense of their place in the grand scheme of the universe. Now, we travel to the subcontinent of India, where spirituality and philosophy were woven into the fabric of society. In ancient India, the Vedic rituals were the lifeblood of the civilization. The Vedas, considered the oldest scriptures of Hinduism, were more than just religious texts. They were a guide to living, encapsulating a vast array of knowledge from cosmology to societal norms. The rituals prescribed in these texts were not mere ceremonies, but a way for people to connect with the cosmos, to seek answers to life's mysteries, and to maintain societal harmony. Delving into these rituals, we come across the yajna, a ritual of sacrifice. The yajna was a communal event, where offerings were made to the gods in the sacred fire, under the chanting of Vedic mantras. It was believed that these offerings nourished the gods, who in turn maintained the natural order. These rituals were not just about appeasing the gods, they also served as a platform for social integration and mutual cooperation. But the spiritual pursuits of ancient India were not limited to rituals alone. The practices of yoga and meditation, which have gained global popularity today, have their roots deep in the ancient Indian soil. These practices were part of a holistic approach towards well-being, encompassing physical health, mental clarity, and spiritual growth. Yoga, derived from the Sanskrit word yuj, meaning to unite, was more than just physical postures. It was a philosophical system aimed at uniting the individual self with the universal consciousness. The physical postures, or asanas, were just one of the 8 limbs of yoga, with the ultimate goal being samadhi, a state of intense concentration and profound tranquility. Meditation, too, was an integral part of this spiritual journey. Known as dhyana in Sanskrit, it was a method to calm the mind, to delve within oneself, and to attain a state of inner peace. The practice of meditation was not confined to hermits and monks. It was a part of the daily routine of many, a tool to navigate the chaos of life and to maintain inner equilibrium. The spiritual beliefs of ancient India were not about blind faith or dogma. They were about exploration, about seeking the truth, about understanding the self and the universe. The rituals, the yoga, the meditation, all were tools in this quest for knowledge and enlightenment. In ancient India, spirituality was not an isolated aspect of life. It was interwoven with the society, the culture, the education. It was a way of life, a path towards truth and enlightenment. From the Vedas to the practice of yoga, ancient India's customs were deeply rooted in a quest for spiritual enlightenment. Finally, we arrive in ancient Greece, a civilization celebrated for its athletic competitions and rich mythology. The Greeks held a profound belief in the strength and beauty of the human form, a value deeply reflected in their customs. The Olympic Games, an iconic tradition of ancient Greece, were a testament to their reverence for physical prowess. Originating in 776 BC, these games were held every 4 years in Olympia, in honor of Zeus, the king of the gods. Athletes from various city-states competed in events like wrestling, boxing, long jump, discus throw, and chariot racing. The victors were bestowed with olive wreaths, a symbol of honor and respect, their names forever etched in the annals of history. But the Olympic Games were not merely an athletic competition. They were a religious festival, a political statement, and a celebration of shared Hellenic identity. During the Games, a sacred truce was observed across Greece, allowing athletes and spectators to travel safely to Olympia. This reflects how deeply intertwined the Games were with the society and politics of the time. The mythology of ancient Greece, meanwhile, was a complex tapestry of gods, goddesses, heroes, and monsters. Tales of Heracles' 12 labors, the cunning of Odysseus, and the tragic love of Orpheus and Eurydice were more than just entertaining narratives. They were integral to the Greek understanding of the world and human nature. These myths were not just stories, they were moral and philosophical guideposts embodying the virtues and vices of humanity. They were used to explain natural phenomena, instill ethical values, and navigate the mysteries of life and death. The gods of Olympus were seen as both mighty and fallible, reflecting the Greeks' understanding of power and its limitations. The influence of these customs was far-reaching. The Olympic Games, revived in the late 19th century, have become a global event, bringing nations together in a celebration of athletic skill and sportsmanship. Similarly, Greek mythology has permeated various facets of contemporary culture, from literature and art to psychology and astronomy. From Olympus to the Olympic Games, the customs of ancient Greece continue to captivate us with their enduring legacy. As we draw our journey to a close, it's clear that the unusual customs of these ancient civilizations continue to resonate in our modern world. From ancient Egypt, we've seen the astonishing sophistication of their burial practices. Their belief in the afterlife, manifesting in the intricate process of mummification, is a testament to the human quest for eternal life. Today, the echoes of this quest can be seen in our own efforts to understand and conquer death. Moving on to Mesopotamia, the earliest cradle of civilization, we unearthed the importance of astrology and divination. The Sumerians' belief in the celestial body's influence on earthly matters is a tradition that has carried through the ages, with astrology still holding sway in many contemporary societies. Then we traveled to ancient India, where spiritual practices like yoga and meditation, born out of Vedic rituals, have now become global phenomena. These practices, rooted in a quest for inner peace and enlightenment, continue to shape our modern approach to wellness and mental health. In ancient Greece, we discovered a society where mythology and athletic competitions intertwined, shaping their cultural identity. The Olympic Games, a tradition born in ancient Greece, still unite the world every 4 years, while their myths continue to inspire literature and art. These customs, as unusual as they may seem to us, have woven themselves into the fabric of our shared human experience. They've shaped our beliefs, our traditions, and our understanding of the world. Each civilization, with its unique customs, has contributed a thread to the vibrant tapestry of human history. In understanding these unusual customs, we gain a richer perspective on the diverse tapestry of human history. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.